Hey everybody, it's Stephen Phoenix Mays and I'm here with
Thaison Garcia.
Hollywood Garcia, and we are doing part 2 of Thaison's Scrambler 1200XC modifications. What are you going to do today, man?
So again, like last time, we're going from the easier stuff, we're going to eventually get to the harder stuff. Today we're going to do that fender elimination, front fender elimination, and this cool little screen guard, light guard right here that goes on the front, keep any rocks from breaking or chipping the headlight. This is our easier stuff. Eventually we're going to get to the cat elimination on our pipes, and then the rear section elimination and light elimination stuff. So again, we're going from easy to hard, and we want to thank Triumph Albuquerque, Scott over at Triumph, for hooking us up with the bike and the parts. Who else do we have as far as sponsors?
We got us a new sponsor for our Dirt Life Diaries and some of our tech talks. We've got New Mexico Biker Lawyers. Eva and Heather over there, thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing here. And check those guys out online if you want to get some information about New Mexico Biker Lawyers. If you guys have any questions, send us an email at rustisgoldracing@gmail.com, and we can direct those to Thaison if you have some questions for him.
We also want to thank Tobacco Moto Co. for hooking us up with some pants and a couple shirts. These have been awesome for going out and doing Scrambler stuff. Not afraid to fall on these guys. And then also you got to have your Rustis Gold coffee and or tea whenever we're working on bikes.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to start today with this little nifty guard, rock guard for the front headlight. Again, it's going to take a 5mm Allen set. 5 to 6 to 4 seems to be the standard for most of the parts on this bike. So we're going to start by just kind of loosening up and cracking the nuts on these guys. Get these off. And then it looks like this is pretty loose at this point. So what we're going to do is actually put this back together. And slide this in place without scratching anything, obviously. I'm going to slip on the headlight bracket. Start at one side. Again, I'm going to take off this bottom headlight bracket bolt and the two side ones. So after you get that bottom bolt from the headlight bucket, in the pack that came with this headlight bracket, it comes with a longer Allen bolt. Same size, it's 5mm, and we're going to go ahead and just slide it back into this spot here. Hand tighten it. And that's it. So we got this headlight bracket back on with the guard, rock guard, keeps it from any sort of chips or rocks. I think this is pretty important if you're going to be doing any off-roading. You don't want to break your headlight. These are expensive. This guard's only like 35–40 bucks from Triumph. Okay, next is we're going to do this fender elimination and just kind of bring it up a little bit higher, like an old dirt bike, which will give it a pretty cool look. I'm going to take these screws out. I'm going to keep all these. And actually, all right, so I'm actually going to take off the fork guards too in this little bracket here. It's not actually a support for the front forks, and I don't think we're going to need it. And then eventually what I'm going to do is cut this guy here and here. That way I can keep these front fork guards on if I want to keep them actually. All right, so we're going to take off these brackets also just for now. And again, eventually when I cut this front support off, I'm going to put it all back together. So I'm going to keep all these bolts. Because again, being that this bike is going to see some dirt, some off-roading, we want to keep these forks nice and clean as much as possible. Alright, so there's 3 bolts that kind of connect to the triple tree, the bottom end of the triple tree. And there's these 3 bolts that look like this. They're kind of long, and they do look like they've been Loctited, so a little bit tighter, so you got to get those out. And then this fender, which is going to change the look of this bike completely, it's going to go back in there just like that. It's going to look pretty rad. So, get those same bolts that you just took out and put them back in place. And I got one more bolt I'm going to put in the back end. Now I got those 3 bolts kind of in there hand tightened. They're not cross-threaded. I'm going to go ahead and torque these down. using the same exact bolts. You don't need any new hardware for these. Alright, that's about it. Everything seems pretty tight and on there. So now if you look at this bike, we eliminated the old fender that sat really low and the brackets, put on a new high fender, kind of like a dirt bike style looking fender, and then we threw on the new guard on the front headlights so no rocks would chip it or anything like that. Kind of changes up the look of this entire bike. Starting to kind of give it more of like that desert sled dirt bike kind of look. So again, thank you Triumph Albuquerque for hooking us up with the parts. Thank you New Mexico Biker Lawyers for helping sponsor these tutorials. And then also Tobacco Motor Co. who make these awesome jeans, shirts, apparel, things like that, for hooking us up with some swag that we're going to be doing a demo on also. So again, the bike has a whole new look, easy stuff. Anybody can do this. Took us like what, 10-15 minutes to get this done, and anyone can do it. So again, as we continue to work on this bike, we're going to start with the easy stuff and get to the harder stuff as we go. Your ride, your bike. Don't let anyone tell you have to start with a certain style bike to get started wrenching. You can do anything you want, man.